You can build up here. Yeah, but not good enough for us. Oh, God. I'm gonna die. Alright. Yeah. I didn't think that.
Hey guys, so this is a new thing I'm going to try out here. We're going to try out some severe weather coverage here. Yeah. Just,
Hey guys,
so let me know what you think. This is a new thing I'm going to try out here. We're going to try out some severe weather coverage here. Yeah. Just, so let me know what you think. Okay, here, let me just fix up a few things before I start here. Just, okay, here, let me just fix up a few things before I start here.
Do you have blocks? Build over there. Oh, heads up! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! More people are there. Yep, they're coming right now. They're coming right now. No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, you're fine. I know. The other night I have to tear it up again. Take that. No, you're fine. I know. The other night I have to here's the face.
Okay, so I'm going to tweet this out quick.
Well, this guy has no hearts either.
Okay,
No,
so
you're fine. Yeah. Yes, take that. This guy has no hearts either. Yeah. Okay, this is all junk in this little. Nope. None. Just let me know in first for the fights. It would be fun. No, it's rolling.
Okay.
There's someone under there. Oh, watch out.
Okay.
Nobody's been to mid. Nobody's been to the top mid. I have a platform.
Alright guys, let me just tweet this out quick.
How many? 2. I'll give you some gas.
So quick.
Oh, right there. I'll kill him. You just watch the people downstairs and make sure they don't come up. Just let me kill him. No, you don't.
Who wants to play after ball?
What?
Just, guys. Alright, hey guys. So this is just a test area for just trying out some severe weather coverage, which I may do in the future in terms of outbreaks and stuff. Alright, hey guys. So this is just a test area for trying out some severe weather coverage, which I may do in the future in terms of outbreaks and stuff.
Not on my stuff.
Sorry about this, guys. This is pretty. I'm still trying to make this work. So yeah.
I'm kind of laggy. This is weird. Nice. Hey, let's rush the farm.
Hey. So I'm gonna have to ask you guys to pardon the interruptions. There's gonna be a few interruptions from my brother in the next couple minutes, but other than that, we should be good. So as we can see here, we're out in Colorado here with some incredibly intense storms. As we can see, we're up to 77.5 dBz on this core. It's remaining consistent with that. Let's do a quick. Wait, was that 80? Let's do a quick loop on this. Okay, guys, thank you guys for waiting there patiently. We are now back. Looking at this just beastly storm here again, maintaining a 77.5 dBz core, which is unheard of, and it looks like it's got some incredibly intense winds, possibly some rotation there. It's a severe warning for the next hour, which is a pretty impressive severe warning. They don't usually warn them for this long of amount of time. Oh, okay. This is explaining a lot now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so it's a significant storm right there out in Colorado. There's a pair of them that are severe warned. It's looking like it's dying out a little bit. The southern one also looks quite intense. I don't really have a location for these two storms. There's not really many towns on the map out there. So we're going to go over then, look at the broader picture. That buddy looks a little bit big, strong too as well. Is there a radar out here? Can we try this here? I don't know if that's... There's a severe warning down up in here by Cokeville and Taylor. And then as we go northeast, we have another severe warning near Shoshone. I don't know how to say that. Then we're going to move again to the bigger picture. That's all the real warnings we have today except for one down here in Colorado on the storm. I'm probably going to head back out to, I am not stupid, I promise, the Utah Storms, which are remaining to look quite intense. I'm just going to check in with stream here. Oh, cool. We've got 5 watching now. Hey guys, welcome to the stream again. Just let me know what you think, and say hi. Appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, as this thing moves northeast, it may weaken, but it's looking really incredibly intense right now. I'm gonna go look and see if we can find some reports from there. I think they can hear you. This is again just a marginal risk today. Out in Utah. Yeah, no reports from this yet, which is really quite surprising actually. I'm gonna read the warning text quickly.
That's Miss Chloe. My friend who fell look at her, she's doing so well.
I am back. This storm is looking to be losing a little bit of its strength as we move on here. It's not maintaining the large core as we've seen before. It's still a very strong storm as it moves northeast towards the Salt Lake City area in the next hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So yeah, it's not overall a big severe weather day, but again, it was a marginal slight risk day overall. And the slight risk really hasn't, it's done a little bit earlier up in Minnesota. There's been some storm reports there, but it's a very spread out day today. Yeah, as we look at all over the country, currently these Utah storms are seeming to be the dominant storms of the day for sure. Well, we'll see. That remains to be seen once we see the reports from them, but they're definitely the strongest ones currently. I'm wondering if I can get a closer radar. Wow, there's like 3 radars in Utah. That's fun. Only there, yeah. Okay. So it looks like there could be some very broad rotation, but that could tighten up at any time. Let's see how high it's reaching into the atmosphere. Radar has it at 44,000 feet. Fairly impressive, but not insanity. Yeah. So that's a pretty nice storm. We can just keep following that. Continues to maintain a very strong core. So there's those 2 super thunderstorm warnings in Utah. Then we move over to Riverton radar. Nobody can really get a good handle on this. I'm gonna go to this radar. There's this 1 severe thunderstorm warning over here near Taylor and Cokeville. And then our other 2 severe warnings, except for the ones down there, are located near Shoshone. I don't know how to say that. Shoshone, let's say, as well as east of Homa Hills. And this thing looks to be producing a ton of lightning. I wish there were some more radars out in here. And then our last severe warning currently is located near, well, it's located in between Kit Carson, Eads, Sheridan Lake, and Cheyenne Wells. So somewhere in between there. Sorry, I'm just checking the stream here. So let's see here again. Some very strong storms out there today. So, just 6 severe thunderstorm warnings. 7. I can't count. 6 severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect right now across the United States. Not much more is expected to happen today. So yeah, we can just continuously, we can watch in on these storms here over in Utah, because again, these seem to be the dominant storms today. I'm going to be checking for some reports to come in from these. This is weakening significantly. We saw it had, again, somewhere upwards of 75 DBZ cores on this previously. Let's just look at these scans quickly. Pretty strong, I just read about here, which is just ridiculous. I would be shocked if there weren't some reports off of that. I'm going to check in there with the local NWS office and see if they have any reports there. Yep, so it looks like they extended the warning on the southern portion of that as well. I am having a difficult time, surprisingly, finding any information. On storm reports out there. It's probably my incompetence using the website. So the southern storm looks to be strengthening again. Southern storms looks to be strengthening again a bit. Again, let's check the broader picture. It looks like one of these warnings up here has expired, and this one remains as well. And it looks like we have some down in Texas. I may have missed those earlier, so we'll check in there. Looks like this storm near Ross. Am I missing something here? No. Is severe warned, but for only 5 more minutes. And the storm west of Oak Grove is severe warned, but again, only for 5 more minutes. So that could be it for Texas. We'll see if it continues to be severe later. Yeah, so then we can go back over to here. These storms are very vigorous looking. Let's just check out again our velocities. This one's definitely maintaining its rotation. There just may be some radar issues with the southern storm. Can't really tell with that one, how that one's doing. Yeah. But definitely very dangerous storms there, as well as all the severe warning storms. This one looks like it could have some pretty, more tight rotation, I would say, than the other storms we've been looking at. The severe thunderstorm warning was just issued, including Kiowa County, Colorado, until 7 p.m. MDT. So that's 8 o'clock p.m. CST. Let's go take a look in at that storm. As again, it's in the radar blurb area. Wow, that thing really intensified in the last scan. It looks like. Go check that out. That's a pretty cool loop, actually. It looks like it's been just kind of redeveloping, and We can also see a boundary here. That's actually a really interesting loop. This is one of my favorite loops I've seen. Several boundaries here. Look at those. So seems that once storms pass the boundary, look at this. This is incredible, as they just seem to explode and then kind of fizzle out later. That's very cool. There may even be some more kind of boundaries down there. That's cool. Yeah, so this area, how long is this for? This is for next 32 minutes. That one's about to expire, which I question, considering it looks like the core of the storm is north there. Yeah, I think they should extend yeah, I think they should probably extend it northward more. Yeah, you can see this boundary is very visible here on radar with that kind of cutoff. I believe that corresponds with the velocities. Alright, sorry, with the reflectivity. Yes, it does.
Isaac.
Sorry about that, guys. Just had to go offline for a second. So again, this storm looks to have weakened, but is still definitely severe, so it's definitely something to be taken seriously if you're in the path of that. It's maintaining some rotation there. This is kind of a area of radar issues up in this area, so we don't know what's really going on there. So we'll see. Could be something, probably not, but we'll see. Yeah. So those storms look to be doing just fine. We can go check back up in here quickly. This severe warning remains. Looks like it's going to be going on for a little while. Storms don't look incredibly intense to me, but it could just be the radar. Severe warning continues for 30 minutes. Some areas in the path of this, really nothing large according to radar scope. I should get like a map or something and tack it up in front of me so I can actually see what I'm talking about. And then this Cokeville storm remains severe warned. This is very far from radar. Severe warning continues for 14 minutes. And yeah, we can go back down to this. This is a fairly interesting, it's a cool storm shape. Maybe developing some sort of a rotation, circulation, but we don't know. Right now it's kind of jumbled. Let's head back to these. Oh, good. They did extend the warning further north. We can go back. Come on. There we go. We can go back to the Colorado storms here. This has a lot of lightning. I'm probably going to turn off lightning right now. No spotters out there, which is kind of surprising to me. So it looks to be remaining fine. They canceled the other warning, or it expired. Let's look at velocities. This thing could have a little bit of rotation too. Not looking all that impressive though. Not really much in the way of tornadic circulations today, most likely. Just checking in with NWS Severe Thunderstorm Twitter account. Okay. So this storm looks very vigorous as well. These boundaries are really cool. I like them a lot. Let's watch what happens to this cell as it crosses this boundary here. You could check that out in a little bit. Again, thank you to everyone watching. make sure to let me know what you like, what you don't like, and if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, leave a like on this video. Oh, new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued just west of Pueblo, I believe. That's where the radar is at, so I think it's Pueblo, yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking here. I believe yes, it's just north of Pueblo, Colorado is the new warning that has been issued there. Hail is up to 1 inch in diameter and winds up to 60 miles an hour. Like I was saying though, make sure to leave a like in this video and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of stuff. This is something new. Just trying it out here. Yeah. So yeah, this severe thunderstorm warning is for the next 42 minutes. That will continue. We can check back in with our Utah friends over here. Wow, that just looks monstrous. It seems to be getting a little bit better of a core there again. Yeah, so not much again in the ray of rotation now. This feature on the back end is interesting. It looks like there's a small area of really intense winds, which could be some sort of RF. I don't really know. I was gonna say RFD, but I'm not. I've no idea if that could actually be it. So we'll see. If you guys have any knowledge about that or any thoughts on what that could be, please let me know in the comments. I'll be right back. Hey, sorry guys, I am back. Had some issues there. There was kind of a weird downburst feature in that. Let's look at the vertically integrated liquid here. When is this updated last? 7:27 p.m. So this is a fairly old image. Some pretty high values, 50 kilograms per millimeter squared. I don't know that unit. Gosh darn it. 50 kilograms per meter squared. Looks like that's a pretty high value. So that could indicate some hail there. Yeah. News for thunderstorm warning. Let's see here. Wyoming. That one went. They just updated the warning again. So that warning expires at 8 o'clock p.m. 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Let's just take a look at that quick. Now, it doesn't look like there'd be much in the way of hail there. Wind gusts at 60 miles an hour on it. Looks to be dissipating fairly quickly. Could just be as it's moving further away from radar. Yes, both Texas severe warnings have expired, have not been renewed. And that's about it for warnings. Let's go check back in with the Colorado storms. See how they're doing. That one looks to have dissipated a bit. Interesting. As it crossed the boundary, it didn't really seem to do much as intensify. We'll watch it a little bit. This storm just north of Pueblo has some fairly strong winds in there, maybe 30 to 45 miles an hour. It is severe warned though, so there is a chance for some stronger winds. The storm in western Wyoming is also warned until 8:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We can go take a look at that right now. A new warning issued on that. So that still falls under. Oh, okay. Is this Riverton? Okay, it still falls under this radar. Apparently, I can't really see it. Okay, I'm gonna try this radar then. Maybe that's not the most accurate. Yeah, this is a really hard storm to get a handle on radar-wise, as it's very far from all three, goodness gracious, I'm having trouble speaking. All three radar sites are very far from it. Just to give you an idea, where's my mouse? There it is. Just to give you an idea, it's easily 110 miles from most likely all three sites. Yeah. Oh, right, you guys can't see the other site because I have... Yeah, so, again, these Colorado storms, this is not Colorado, this is Utah. These are strengthening again, and this has a very interesting kind of formation to it. Again, there might be some sort of microburst or downburst back here. Like Joe said, Wisconsin storm trip. Yeah, I'm probably going to block Tanner. It might just be outflow as well. But we'll see. This storm has a similar feature as well. These will also most likely have some hail on it. Vertically integrated liquid is off the charts here. Yeah, it's the highest it can possibly be on the storm. So I would expect some hail. I'm shocked. Have there been any reports from that yet? Interestingly enough, there have not been. Because that's not what I'm not seeing any. Interesting. I am... Yeah, it just looks like a hail producer. I'll just say that much. And again, this warning expires in 35 minutes. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yep, okay, so let's go check in back again with the Colorado storms. This system looks to have weakened a little bit. This one just north of the radar looks to be rather strong, but again, it's very close to the radar, so we can't really derive much from that. That echo tops are also invalid there. This thing, even though it's pretty far from radar, looks like it could have some pretty darn tall tops. 50,000 feet. Pueblo radar is showing. We can go to Goodland radar. It agrees. At least 49,000 to 50,000 feet. And that's too far from radar to really tell. Let's look at Denver radar. This one just north of the Pueblo radar looks like it could have some impressively tall tops, up to 54,000 feet. So yeah, there'd be probably some pretty storms. Certainly looks vigorous on that radar. We can go back to Goodland radar here. This storm looks rather vigorous as well. Could have it's kind of a strange velocity signature radar-wise. There's a lot of different direction winds in here. Just not very organized rotation, I wouldn't say. But again, that is severe warned for for the next 33 minutes. The southern part expires in 18 minutes. The northern part expires in 33 minutes. And the cell north of Pueblo, the severe thunderstorm warning expires in
Outside, it's beautiful out.
in 33 minutes as well.
It's gorgeous, Jonathan. It's like perfect.
Sorry guys there. Let's just look at this storm again. Utah storms. This looks to have been gaining strength back a little bit. It looks like it's pulsating slightly. Its core looks to have gotten stronger, or smaller, but slightly stronger as we see a little bit more of those purples in there. We can look at this reflectivity. There's an interesting, almost looks like a notch feature, but obviously there's no tornado really. There's not rotation associated with it. That is tracking towards the Ogden area in the distant future. Nothing really much out here for it to hit. I feel like this one looks a little bit more supercellular. All the other stuff is kind of linear. Well, it's not necessarily linear, but it's kind of caught up in a mess, you could say. Let's see here. Okay, so Pueblo, northeast of Pueblo, a new warning's been issued for this. Wow, that thing looks very vigorous for being so close to the radar as well. We can look at it. How far away is that? Is that even valid? 80 miles. That's not horrible. It's pretty bad, but can look here. It looks quite intense. So I can see why they warned that, but it doesn't look like the warning goes very far, which is interesting to me because it doesn't look like it's. What's it moving at? 5 knots is the motion, really? Wow, it's nearly stationary. That's incredible. I'd love to get a time lapse of those anvils going up. Yeah, so let's see here. And then off to the east, this one remains warned, north of Sheridan Lake, southwest of Cheyenne Wells. So yeah, if you're in the path of any of these storms we've been mentioning, you're going to want to take cover. They're dangerous storms. Let's check out that boundary again, like Wisconsin Storm Trip says. Let's watch just a loop of this again. You do notice after the outflow boundary passes a little bit, it really explodes. It's pretty cool to watch. I love radar like that. So then, yeah, so as you can see, so this thing goes up, it weakens a little bit, but then it strengthens back. It almost latches onto the boundary there. Let me slow this down. If you see that southern part of it, it almost looks like the boundary pulls that along, it elongates it, which is just really cool. Yeah. This thing looks really messy. I would not want to be, that'd be a kind of tough thing to chase, I feel like, too. Not much else going on. We can check in with these again. This doesn't look severe to me. Questioning why that's warned, kind of, but it could be. I bet the northern part of it may be severe. It doesn't look good on velocities either, but I'm not the NWS. checking in here quick. Thanks for the dislike, guys. Tanner, I bet that was you. I bet $20 that was you. Appreciate it, brah. Let's see here. What else we got? So this thing, this cell, this may just be kind of a child of the radar, but looks to have really developed some interesting kind of couplet-like features there. Not very tight yet, very strong, but there is some moving winds there. So that's an interesting feature. We can watch that, see how that progresses. It doesn't look as strong, and there is this really interesting notch tag down here that I don't really know what that is. It could be rotation of the storm. Yeah, so that's actually really interesting because that coincides directly with interesting. I wonder, there could be some sort of, I don't know, we'll have to watch this storm in the future for may go tornado warned at some point because it is definitely rotating a bit. It continues to be severe warned. Alright, I would, yeah, good point. That inflow notch as well, yes, that tag there looks to be an inflow notch. Thank you, Wisconsin Storm Trip. Sorry about that, guys. I was a little distracted there. So yes, this remains oddly severe warned. I feel like that's kind of odd. Storm in Pueblo, northeast of Pueblo now, remains severe warned. Looks very intense. Could be some. I like to look at tops. They can give you a good idea of what's going on in the storm. Looks like its tops have increased a little bit, up to 53,000 feet. This is still very far from the radar, so this may not be accurate, but we can just watch a loop of this thing here. So its tops have definitely been increasing in size, really. So that's just, trends are very, let's see here. Wisconsin Storm Trip, that was from the Salt Lake City radar. So guys, just checking in here. Let's see here. Thank you whoever liked it. I appreciate that immensely. let's just check back in with these storms. This also has a really interesting northern part. This kind of wraps around here. It's developed a very much more I don't know why I went to differential reflectivity. Developed a much more noticeable notch. Continues to be rotation, not incredibly tight, but still something we can watch on it. Wow, it's a really interesting shape on radar right now. It's not as intense of a core, but there is definitely some rotation. Let's see here. So that's an interesting feature on that. They remained severe warned. We'll see if they extend the warning on that or not. So this thing is also severe warned up here. The northern storm is not warned anymore. Looks like the Pueblo, northeast of Pueblo storm is, wow, it's remaining warned. They extended the warning here. This warning is in effect, goodness gracious, for 20 more minutes. Why am I... Here, I'm going to try to fix this here. This might be kind of weird momentarily. There we go. That's a lot better. Sorry guys for the intermittent pauses. I'm just trying to check in with social media as well. So these storms look to be quite intense, as well as this eastern one north of Sheridan Lake. That remains severe warned as well. Zoom out again, see if there's anything else we got to worry about. Nothing else really in the country, severe warning wise. I would be checking in with this storm, but it's in such a radar hole, it's pointless. This is just quite an interesting shape, really. Radar, or the rotation seems to be getting weaker as we look. Further. So yes, that rotation looks to be getting a bit weaker as we go on here. Let's check in with just super res reflectivity. The core does not look to be as strong as it was before. It looks to be dying down a little bit. Let's see here, what else we got. Yeah, so that's about it right now for severe weather. It's not looking oh, what is this? What is this? Surprise! We have a Minnesota severe thunderstorm warning. I love it up there. Oh, wow. This is a lot messier than I expected. So this is interesting here, because it looks like it could be trying to do some kind of bow end vortex thing. Or something, I don't know. It's just, because it looks like it has a notch really on the edge of this, and this looks kind of like a bow, but there's not really much rotation to back that up. This is a very interesting feature here, just a whole massive precipitation. That's really interesting. I love so many cool things you can see on radar. This is a great area up there. We go up there for a week every year. Obviously it's not great chase terrain wise, and it's obviously not great radar wise either, but goodness gracious, that stuff looks fairly intense for how linear it is. How far away is this from radar? Can we even trust this? 86 miles. That's not horrible, so that's interesting. This warning is in effect for 15 more minutes, so it's a fairly short warning. Let's get some info on that quickly. Let's see here. Let's check that warning out. So the whole line here, this whole line is under a special weather statement. This is a very tiny super thunderstorm warning. It's just a standard severe thunderstorm warning on this storm here. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. Impacted locations impacted include Virginia, Hoyt Lakes. What the heck town name is that? Biwabik and Wind Lake. So yeah. So that looks interesting. This is not a bad storm system up here. This was where stuff was supposed to happen today, really, but kind of fizzled out. There's been a few busts lately. Let's see here. Sorry guys, this is new. I'm not incredibly great at this right now. So El Paso County, Colorado, just a new severe thunderstorm warning issued. until 7:15 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, so that's 13 more minutes, I believe. It's not a standard warning, actually. Hail is up to 1.25 inches in diameter, which I think is half-dollar sized, as well as wind gusts to 70 miles an hour. Let's check that out here, guys. So I believe it's this storm that they're talking about, so I think it's too close to radar to really gain much from it. So we're going to go to the northern radar there. There's a storm that's also warned, so let's check this out quick. This storm is just northeast of the Denver metro area. Oh, sorry, it's far west. I always think the radar sites are in the metro, but they're not, because that doesn't make sense in the metro. So it's east of the Denver area, northwest of Bennett, Colorado. There's an interesting storm there as well. Let's check back in on our Utah storms. This storm looks to be strengthening a bit. Got a little bit of purple up in there. So this is just an interesting feature here. Let's just look at the velocities on that. Maybe some sort of, I don't know, microburst or something, or it's just an interesting tag on radar there. Did they stop the warning on that? They let the warning expire apparently, which is surprising to me. I don't know. That's a really interesting feature. It almost looks like an S. This warning has now expired. So it looks like Colorado's starting to light up a little bit. There's that Minnesota one as well. Yeah, so